Hello and welcome to Casual Leaves, and this is my January 2024 plant haul. So surprisingly, this is my biggest plant haul ever. I have been ordering a lot of plants in the last week of December and now in Jan, and somehow all of these plants, which are all kept here, have come to me together at almost one go. So I'm really, really happy because it's really bringing me a lot of joy that I have new plants with me finally, especially after losing so many of them after this major root rot issue I had last year in around October. And slowly I lost more than maybe 15 plants, which were very, very close to me. So I was really, really not feeling good about my collection. But recently the price drops have been really great, and there were some really attractive prices at which I could get some of my wish list plants. And today I'm going to take you through those because these are going to be the plants I'm going to be really working on for the coming year, and I'm really hoping that these become the star of my collection. So starting with the first one, in no particular order, I just have my plants lying around here. I'm just gonna pick them up as I grab them, and I'm just gonna talk in short about them. I won't be doing a detailed care guide for these today, but just introduce these plants to you, just talk about their names and just basic details. So the first one is my philodendron silver cloud, and this plant is really unique for many reasons, mainly for the controversy about the name. So I think this plant gets confused a lot because there's philodendron mame and silver cloud, which is a type of mame, and people often get confused by this plant because there's very few ways to tell which one is which. However, from my understanding and the reading that I've been doing, some telltale signs for silver cloud are the roundish shape of the leaf, more heart-shaped. Just Mame has a longer heart-shaped leaf. These are more rounder. This is the newest leaf, which actually unfurled just 2-3 days back. When I got the plant, it was coming out of the caterpillar, and I was hoping that it unfurls fine, and it has. It's almost perfect. It's still enlarging, it is still hardening up, so there's still scope for it to grow more. This is one of the matured leaves, and I really love the silver patterns on the leaf of this plant, which is of course like the USP of the plant. And the other telltale sign is the ruffles on the petiole. So if you see, there are these ruffles here right where the leaf is attaching. Yeah, right where the leaf is attaching to the petiole, you can see the ruffle petiole there, which is another telltale sign of silver cloud. And lastly, I believe if you notice this little red spot here, which is in all the leaves, especially when they are new, it's more noticeable then. So that red spot is another telltale sign that it's a silver cloud. So I actually was opting for SP Columbia. I wanted that plant, and somehow I ended up getting a silver cloud because honestly everyone gets confused a lot by the names. If you don't have the plant in front of you or the telltale signs, it's very difficult to tell. And it's a very healthy plant. When I got it, though, it wasn't really doing well. I think it was in transit for too long a time. So the minute I got it, I repotted it. I didn't really wait. Usually I wait for some time, and then I sprayed it with my homemade pest solution and neem oil, so just so that I isolated it a bit from my other plants, so that it doesn't really spread if it has any pests on it. So this is my plant number one. I'm so happy because this is after my gloriosum, which I lost to root rot. This is one of the first philodendrons I got after that with heart-shaped leaf. So really high expectations from it. Now it can trail and it can climb. I'm trying for mine to climb, but not just yet. I want a couple of more leaves to come out, and there is a new leaf which is going to come out from here. So I'm just going to wait for 2-3 leaves to come before I decide whether I should leave it to be trailing or to be climbing. So just going to wait for a couple of weeks more and let the plant become more sturdier. So this is plant number one. I'm so happy. I love the details on this. I will try and put some close-ups of the leaves next. now the next plant is a plant that you really don't need to decide whether you want it or not. I mean, you see this plant and you just want it, and that's what happened when I saw this for the first time online. When I saw a couple of other plant moms have this plant, I decided that I needed two, but I wasn't really sure if it would be available where I am. But to my surprise, I got a very, very good deal. And this is my Alocasia Jaclyn. There is just no comments to be made about this plant. It is so, so unique. In my entire experience so far with house plants and rare indoor plants, I think this plant is the most unique with the most unique foliage. And this is a new leaf which is unfurling. It is still opening up. So the leaves come in, they are like a vertical unfurled stem, and then they slowly open up, which is so interesting to watch. And the colors are just so beautiful. This green color with a little bit of lemony yellow in it is just so interesting. And then the way it becomes dark, like this one with a very nice dark jungle green, and the kind of venations on it is just immaculate. And the other part is, of course, the stem. This plant has not just unique leaves, but a very, very unique stem. I love the patterns on it, like almost like a zebra pattern on it in brown shades. It's very beautiful. You could just look at this plant for hours, I feel. And it just grows really smoothly, no hassles so far. I do keep spraying it with my homemade solution to avoid pests and neem oil very regularly. I do try to mist some water on it for increased humidity, because I believe this plant likes humidity a bit. So I'm trying that. Also, I'm so happy that there are 4 leaves at one go. Usually my alocasias get only 3 leaves at one go, and I think a lot of people face that. So I'm really happy that I have 4 leaves right now, and I haven't repotted this. It's in the soil in which it came from the cellar. And you can look at the patterns on the leaves. And I will insert some close-ups of the leaf as well. So moving on from my one alocasia to the next one, I have my silver dragon. And again, I am just so happy. I think I've got some great plants this time. And that's mainly because I think I found some good sellers. And most of these plants that I'm showing today are from House of Mirac, and some of them are from Urban Roots. So I'm really happy that I found some good sellers, and I have decided to buy a multiple shooter plant this time. So I have 2 shooters in this alocasia here, and this is a single shooter one, and a lot of them are getting new combs here. Many, there are at least some 7-8 combs in this one, and 3-4 in this one, and they're still very young, so no point removing them right now. I just got these plants yesterday, I believe, and they're really making me happy. And that's the theme of the plants now. I just want to get plants which are healthy and happier, rather than trying and get a single cutting plant and then trying to put all my energies into it and not getting anything out of it. So yeah, this is my Alocasia Silver Dragon. Look at the backs. I love the backs of all Alocasias. I think I really admire the back sides of these plants as much as I adore the front sides. So really happy. I've just put both of them in this cover pot outside. So this is how I'm going to maintain their look. Eventually, maybe I'll pot them into this. And the leaf sizes are slightly smaller right now, but that's okay, because overall it looks like a bushier plant. And like I said in my previous video, this year is about bushier plants, not really going for single stemming climbing plants, but just bushier plants. So I'm happy with overall look of this. There's a new leaf coming here, so seems to be doing well. Again, it's just been a day that they are with me, so some time to go for them to adjust into my surroundings, into my house surroundings. So really happy with this one. Again, I got the plant yesterday and I've sprayed it with my homemade pest solution and neem oil, and I'll be continuing to do that for the next couple of days, maybe alternate days, and keep them in some sort of an isolation from my other plants. So my next plant is a philodendron, and it's a very, very, very special plant for me, especially because of the fact that it's a hybrid, and one of the plants in the hybrid is my most favorite plant, which if you have seen the channel so far, you would know it to be verrucosum. So this plant is Fendron Splendid, which is a hybrid of philodendron verrucosum and melanochrysum. And it's a comparatively a smaller plant. It's a single stem plant right now, but no complaints there. It's so, so, so beautiful. I love the textures of this plant. I love the venations, the colors. There's this fluorescent green and brown and dark green, and this blush orange at the back, the blush pink. It's just so beautiful and so unique. I love the shape of the leaves. I love the pillowy texture of the leaf. So it's got like too much happening. You can just keep looking at it all the time. And it's like a velvety texture. It reflects the sun really beautifully. And this is a new leaf which has just unfurled a few days back. So when I got it, it was not in this state. It was just about to kind of push out from the stem, and now it's about to unfurl. That's the back of it. So really happy with it. I just added a little support stick here, and I just love this plant so much. And this used to be very expensive, and it used to be a wish list plant for me for the longest time. And finally, with the price drops, I'm just so happy that I could get my hands on it. And I got it as part of a combo deal, wherein I got one more philodendron and another plant, which I'll show just right after. So yep, this is my Philodendron Splendid, and I'm hoping that I can create a very nice climbing plant and give it a really nice support with the moss poles I did in one of my earlier videos, the acrylic moss poles. And in fact, I've ordered some really nice sphagnum moss, which is hopefully going to work for this better than the moss I was using earlier. So yeah, this is my next plant, which I'm really happy about. With that plant, of course, the other plant I got was philodendron melanochrysum itself, and I just am a fan of this plant. I just love the textures. So it's very similar in terms of the pillowy nature of the leaves, the heart-shaped leaves, this texture. You could see these little patterns, if I have to call them. So lovely patterns within the leaf here. You can notice those, and just show the back as well. It's got a very interesting back, and there is this new leaf which is about to unfurl. So again, it's got that little orangey pinkish blush to it. So very interesting. And especially both of these plants, Melanochrysum and Splendid, they look so beautiful when the sun hits them. When the sun is just passing right through the leaves, they look really, really beautiful. So I'm just hoping I can find a good spot for it. Right now, I've just covered it with a little shed on top, so I don't want direct light to be hitting it. Just trying to protect it as much as possible. This leaf is slightly damaged, but no complaints. Not sure if it is due to some pests. Very well could be due to pests, but right now the most I can do is I just use my homemade solution and a neem oil. That's what I've been using. So yeah, just very, very happy with getting to own this plant basically. I never thought I would have access to these plants, and even if I did, I thought they'd be very, very expensive. Again, it's a single stem plant, so at some point in the future I can possibly take cuttings and make it more bushier, but at the moment I'm really, really happy with it. So I said it was a combo of 3 plants with my Melanochrysum and Splendid, and the third plant is a very nice little baby, which is my baby fig plant. So fig leaf plant. I just got a combo in which this was a part of it. So I wasn't really looking for it because I did buy a bigger fig leaf plant, which actually isn't doing well at all. So I was like, this works. I'll have another one as a backup. So more like an insurance plant here. And I hope it does well. I really don't know much about fig leaf plants and I don't know how to take care of them. So this is something I will kind of get into studying and researching a bit more, because the bigger one I have is really unhappy right now and I just can't deal with unhappy plants anymore. So the idea would be to hopefully have this one to be doing better than the other one I have. Okay, there are too many plants and it's not yet ending. I have 2 more to go. And again, the next plant has been on my wish list for a long time, but somehow I didn't feel like spending on it because these particular plants, at times they work for you, at times they don't. It's a Syngonium. Syngoniums in the past, one of them hasn't done well for me, but the other one has done really well. And the one I got later after that, which is a Syngonium strawberry milk, is not doing that well. So I was very afraid of getting one more Syngonium, but I gave into it and I have now a Syngonium Wendellandii. And I really wanted this plant for a very, very long time, especially because of the dark colors and the shape of the leaf and the light venation on them. The pattern is just so beautiful. I really love this very nice, striking light color on the dark green color. I really love this plant so much. Generally, as in not this specific pot of the plant, but generally I think it's a very beautiful plant to have in your collection. Plants like these which have striking foliage, they can be visible right from afar, which is a very good thing because in your collection they stand out a lot more. So of course, when you're building your collection, you want plants which stand out, and I think this is one of those plants. I will have to work a lot on it because it's like a very tiny baby plant right now, but I do see new growth coming in here. So I'm hopeful that it will over time multiply and divide itself, which happens a lot with Syngoniums for me at least. So really happy about finally owning a Syngonium Wendellandii. And finally, my last plant for this plant haul. This is actually a plant that I won. It was a giveaway. I participated in a plant contest, and it was by House of Mirac, and I think I did well. I came in the second prize, and the plant which I got is my philodendron perzo verde. I'm just so happy I finally have it, and I'm just so lucky because I've got such a huge plant. So thank you so much to House of Mirac for giving this plant to me, and I'm really happy I did well in the contest and I could win this. So I was really excited and I just participated, which I usually don't do. So really glad that I could participate for once and win at the same time. So this is a two-shooter plant, and there are new leaves coming in from both sides. So really happy about that. And there's a lot I have to learn about this plant. I think it will need a moss pole soon is what I believe. So I will maybe repot it. Right now it's in regular soil, which is like a red soil. But since it's doing fine, I'm going to wait for at least 2-3 leaves to come out. And then I'm going to try and repot it into maybe an aroid soil, but nothing straight away. And maybe that same time I can put a moss pole in it. But look at the patterns on this leaf. I just love this specific leaf so much. It looks like pesto paste to me. This plant always reminds me of the pesto sauce because that's how it looks. That's the exact green color which you use in your pesto pastas. So yeah, somehow the name also reminds me of that. I'm sure a lot of more people feel that way about it. And yeah, this one is the biggest, one of the biggest leaves. It's quite a tall plant. It's actually a very decently sized plant. So I'm just so happy that I won this and it's a part of my collection now. To be honest, I may not have spent on this plant by myself to buy because I have seen this once in a plant shop and it was very frail. So I just made up my mind that maybe it's not a plant for me. It just looked too delicate to me in that point in time, but maybe it was just a bad quality one, and this one seems to be doing very nice and healthy and happy, and the leaves are like decently thick. They're not frail or too fine. So yeah, I'm really happy. And I think it's in the mood to climb. So these can really get out of hand. They can really just start spreading all over the place like a biliate, I believe. But I think this one seems to be a bit organized. So I'm just going to try and soon put it on a moss pole. So I've got a good collection now. I think I've got a lot of Alocasias back into my collection. I've got a lot of philodendrons finally. Somehow I felt that they are not going to be accessible or affordable for me, and maybe I'll not do good with them, but I have hopes with these 3 philodendrons that I've just added to my collection that they will do well. I can't help but show these again. Just so happy with my silver cloud, and I'm hoping that it likes it too. And yeah, so I've got new Alocasias, I've got new philodendrons, I've got some Syngoniums, I've got my fig leaf plant. So really happy. I need to figure out where I'm going to place these because I want to isolate them from my collection. Not that I have a very big collection, but I really can't take a risk because at times it has happened. It has always happened that they carry something with them. So like mealies or spider mites or thrips in my recent experience. So I'm hoping that I can keep these isolated, but at the same time let them adjust in my home. And maybe it's time I start building my shelf or a cabinet for these plants. Let me know how you put your plants when you get new ones. Where do you place them? How do you separate them from the rest of your collection? Do let me know in the comments below. So that's it for this time. I'm just so glad that I had 8 different plants, I believe, to take you through, and they're all here. That's why I keep looking down, but it's like one of the most amazing things to look at. I hope you could add some new plants to your collection. And if you like this video, please do subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. I will be making dedicated videos on each of these plants and talk about their care guide and monitor their progress. We will journey through it together through the year, and I hope these plants do really, really well. And I will see you next time. Until then, bye.